Welcome. It's going to be a great day. This is a 2.5 hour illustration, my first one for the new year. And I'm using the oil brush, and this is the setting for it. I modified the default, added some thinner because that's what I prefer. And I used the palette knife at Blur. And this is an ArtRage. And I used the paint roller for some broad strokes. So this is my first illustration of 2016. The last illustration I did in 2015 was really bad. I just lost my vision and went in a whole totally different direction. So this one I kind of retained my vision and went forward with it. So this is of Kim Kardashian. And so made me wonder why her, why not? Most popular reality star on TV. This is my color palette. I kept it restricted so that I wouldn't have to be thinking about too many other things. So I decided ahead of time what that was going to be. And one thing you should always do when you're using color is to try to use the colors in your palette in a lot of different places than just one. It helps to move the eye around. The eye gets attracted to it. And you can use it in a compositional way to move the eye around your illustration. So I laid down some flat color. I had to use the palette knife. Laying in some yellow underneath because that's eventually going to be my highlight color. And I'm putting in the shadow in broad strokes. Everything's broad. You do everything big first and then drill down to the details. So now I kind of have my shape here. And as you can see in the small reference window, it's already coming together, starting to create some form. And that's one reason why I have that there, because when you're looking at it at this size, it's sometimes hard to see if you're getting the result that you want. So now I'm warming it up a little bit, warming the skin up. This is oil, but I'm using it as if it's a watercolor. And my favorite painting tools are gouache and acrylic. And I hardly ever use those straight. I always water them both down and use them like watercolor. I like watercolor because I like the transparent effects you can get. I like the happy accidents that can happen. Unpredictability of it. And I like working wet on wet. Now here I am working wet with the paint because I'm not letting it dry for right now. And as I go along, some of the settings will change from the ones with what I set. Because again, as I go down to details, I want to be more specific about what I'm doing and not so broad, because I've gotten in my broad strokes down and now I'm slowly working my way to details. But I'm staying out at this size because it's still not fine details. I'm trying to add some more form to it by adding some deeper shadows. The chest area is coming out pretty good so far. Still need a lot to do on the face. Wonder what Bootylicious came from. I think Bootylicious came out first with Jennifer Lopez when she played Selena. I'm not sure where Bootylicious came from, who started that. But in any case, to be more specific about the highlights, trying to use the highlight to form some shapes on the face and others, bring out other areas. Trying to give the eyes some definition, like that smoky eye effect that women have. Okay, trying to do the eyebrows, which are trimmed or painted. Never realized how girls did that. But they actually do paint the eyebrows on to get them to look the way they want. Plus, they have eyebrow trimming. I tried eyebrow trimming. My eyes didn't look that different. They still look kind of rough and scraggly. You never want to use pure white on your eye. So you always want to use a shade of gray of some type. Go a little bit too far under her eye. I don't want it to look like she's sleepy. When you trim that a little bit or have bags under her eyes. It's not very attractive. Even if a woman has bags under her eyes too, when you draw it. Because the more lines you put on the face, the chance you take that she's going to look older, uglier, or like a man. So the less lines you put, the better. And you have to edit yourself as to what line is going to go and what lines are not going to be present. And also I've been studying false eyelashes on women and how they look different from real eyelashes. And even through the ages, I mean, false eyelashes in the 60s were really very different. I mean, the part where they clipped on, there was an extensive amount of space before you got to the individual eyelashes. And now bringing some shape to the nose. And I want to be careful not to have any lines. I want edges, not lines, since this is not a cartoon drawing or a line-up drawing. The pencil line is there to guide me as I go in and add some details to the face and shape the face. And the eyes are the focus in this, so they have a lot of detail. And I want the viewer's eye to go right to the eyes. So I don't want anything else to detract from that. So I still want everything to be soft around, but not too soft. My vision was to have her kind of coming out of the background, out of nowhere. It just kind of what happened in her life just came out of nowhere. Now she's everywhere. So it's kind of making a statement. Art should make a statement. She does wear lipstick, but not that bright red lipstick all the time. Actually, the bright red lipstick doesn't look that good on her. I mean, this kind of pink color works better for her. So trying to get that at the right value, right saturation. It's just going to be a little bit tricky because it's very close to flesh color, but it's not. So I'm trying to form the lips and shape them so they come out from the face a little bit. Add some more shadows so the face has some roundness so you can feel it turning from the cheek on the front under eye to the side, because I want to get that sense of turning, of three-dimensionality to the face. Add some more highlights, and you can go in and add as many highlights as I want. Now, I've been working on one layer for most of this, but as I've gone down to the details, I've been going and using another layer and making sure that's right, and then merging that layer down to the base layer. Because I don't want to have this be a multi-layered file, and I am working so that it's kind of similar to how it worked in the natural world with the gouache or the acrylic. And whereas I'm watering it down, I'm mixing glazes and letting the color show through. I think paintings that have a lot of color going on. You have a little bit more life to them, a little bit more lively. So I always like to have a lot of color mixed together. Even though I don't always do my paintings like that, it's something I'm trying to get back to. Now I need to look at some contrast here. Now I did that little spot around her shoulder and face because I was losing the face because there was a light area there. But now it's just kind of sitting there and it's bugging me. I'm going to have to do something about that. And so I'm going to darken the whole area. It just kind of simulates the hair. And that she's wearing a black dress. So I want to fade that into the background. Now I've kind of lost the original color. So now I just have to have it just kind of look like that. So here I'm cleaning up edges. Again, this is on another layer, so it's easier to clean up the edges in case some of you figuring out how I'm trying to do this. For some of your professional speed paint viewers, and you've already slowed this down to see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm trying to blend this now. Here's a happy accident because I made that look more like an arm. There was this little light there. And I kind of left that there because it kind of gives some volume to the arm. And so, again, that was a happy accident. Another happy accident is the light to the left of her because it kind of balances the composition. And it goes from light to dark, from left to right, which is fine. And it also kind of points to the face, to the eyes, which is exactly where I want the viewer to look. Okay, now I'm trying to separate the face from the neck and bring that forward. Shadows for the muscles in the leg. I don't want it too muscular because she is feminine, but they are there, so I have to indicate it somehow. And the thing is, I don't want a lot of detail to compete by putting too much there, so I want to make one softer. Here on the breast, the cleavage, it's not kind of ends in an indefinite way, so I want to make sure that has a definite beginning and ending. So again, I'm going back and forth between the neck and I think that those strokes on the neck are just right. Now I just have to not mess it up. Okay, now I'm trying to get that shadow under the chin. So I want to bring that face out, make it separate. And working on another layer makes this a lot easier. If I was doing this in a natural world, in real life, I'd probably have to make a little liquid mask in order to do this. So it's not really cheating because in any case, I would be making a mask. So the layers is operating as a mask, just as it would in the real world. So there's different techniques that move from the natural world to the virtual world. Okay, I got a lot done, and it's looking pretty good here. I want to go back and add some reflective light. Bring this out from the background a little bit more, because right now that edge was kind of dull, the shoulder's kind of dull, so I'm going to have to do some work on that. So bring that out a little bit. And actually, this is one of the first times where I've done a speed painting and pretty much everything is there. I didn't forget to turn it on when I took some breaks. Pretty much seen the whole process. So now I'm trying to touch up here around the lips. I'm not very happy with the way the lips are. They haven't come out the way I want it. I'm just missing the way the way she holds her lips. Poked out on that top lip. So I'm pretty getting close down to the end here. So I'm just trying to touch up some things, and I need to add some highlights. So once the highlights are done, then this will be finished. So put them in the eyes. Need the eyes to have that moist look, and so they look alive and not dead. And I got a little bit too streaky with the oil paint because now you can see some brush strokes in the eyes. And actually, no, that was by mistake, but I said I don't mind that. So I'm going to leave that. Also, you're not going to be looking at it at this size. It's not the size it's intended to be viewed. And that's another thing to consider when you're doing digital art. Okay, so this is pretty much done. And here's what the final looks like. I went back and fixed the lips a little bit. That's all for today. Please like, share, and comment. I'd definitely like to hear from you. And please subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Remember, just create. Bye.